Okay, we're going to be building a service-based business online completely from scratch. Everything from picking the service, building the website, getting our first leads, booking sales calls, and getting our first sale, literally everything. Let's get started. First is I'm going to go through my launch protocol here. And really what we need to figure out is the foundations. What is it that we're actually going to be offering people? What is the service? What's the name of our business? What's the logo? Should we build a website? How do I build the website quickly in order to get this up and running? First things first with service, what I'm naturally going to do is I'm just going to be offering B2B lead gen, essentially. So like using cold email as a way to get leads. My service will basically be offering cold email to people in order to help them get more leads. I like this service is because when choosing a service, what I want to do is I just want to make sure that the service actually provides outcomes for people, meaning that it's going to make them more money. That's like the most important thing. And then when picking the service, I have a skill set in this. So I want to be able to leverage that skill set and help other people make money. That's the service naturally that we're going to be choosing. From a name perspective, a lot of people kind of milk on this and spend honestly way too much time on the name. So we're going to use ChatGPT. Give me some name ideas for a B2B service that helps companies get new leads using cold email. And I'm going to go through this really quickly. While many people think this is like so important and I need to spend all of the time on my name and on the service, really at the end of the day, it does not really matter whatsoever. So let's just pick one. Do converter, techie, modern. Logo, same thing. Like people spend way too much time on their logo. So I'm just going to go to Canva. So in Canva, I'm just going to type in logo, create a blank logo, and I'm going to go through some of these templates here. I honestly like this one. Let's just do converter. So we have our logo here. Again, guys, it is, in my opinion, not worth it for me to spend a bunch of time creating a logo, all that sort of stuff, because at the end of the day, it does not matter. Sure, it could have a little bit of a factor, but for the case of actually getting leads and getting business, it's not like people are going to look at your logo and be like, oh, their logo is a weird font. I'm not going to do business with them. That's not what people think. I should at least get a simple website up and running, maybe just like a landing page. So same thing. I'm just going to go to Canva website. Let's find one that's techie here. Cool. Let's go back to our logo here. We need a white one. So I'm going to go to home, back to my designs. Let's just duplicate this. Let's make this white. Share, download, page 2, transparent background. Let's go to our Canva design. Put it right there. I'm just going to change the color palette a little bit. I think black is clean. Here, let's just change this to a gray. Let's find a photo here. This works. Let's go ahead and edit this. I'm just going to go with the black and white theme. Let's go to filters. I'm just going to change this to black as well. I'm going to change the font to the same logo, Garrett. Some consistency here, you know. Let's make scale. Let's make it like a yellow, like a bright green. And then let's change this to the green. Why not? And then the font. Just keep updating this really fast. Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to get it up so that it's good to go. Change the colors. Font, Garrett. Cool. I like it. Change all. Can I do that with the font? Nice. Okay. There we go. Let's change that to black as well. Let's not use this. Let me see what ChatGPT could come up with. Rewrite this now. 2 paragraphs. Beautiful. Even gave me a mission statement. Look at that. For this, I'm just going to say, give me some stats of general B2B marketing, like the power of cold email kind of thing. Let's see. So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have any case studies. Just give like stats if you don't have case studies. That's what I'm going to do right now. Size 21. I like it. Give me one more. I like these. Let's go. Okay. I'm just going to use my personal email here. Wonderful. Scaling. Let's see. I think I might just do icons here. Perfect. Who we are. I'm going to change this photo actually. Business photos. It's like social proofy. Oh, I like this. No, let's do. This should do it. You know what? I'm going to find just a photo of myself actually. I'll put me and my business partner, Gilberto. And then let's find another one. Austin photos. All right, there we go. One more photo. Let's add one more photo here. How's that? Edit. Let's also do the filter of classic. Just consistency here. That's a way better photo, actually, because I'm on my phone. Classic. We are good to go. So all I really need to do now is click publish website, and I can just do converter, then click publish. Totally fine. So there's my website and however long that took. View website. Let's check it out. Cool. Okay, so website is done. That will do. Okay. Foundations laid. We have our service. We have the name of our company. We have our logo. We now have a website. Now what we really need to focus on is coming up with a really good offer. So our offering. And we'll get more into this when I actually do the lead gen and how I actually get clients. But I think what a lot of people miss when they're doing any sort of growth for their business is coming up with like a super good offer and like actually understanding the foundations of your clients and your offer and all that sort of stuff. Because if we have this, it makes our life so much easier. This is the number one thing that I always go through with when I'm talking to new businesses. I always say, okay, we need to fill out our offer breakdown. We need to come up with a banger offer, and we need to get clear on that. So I'm just going to show you literally step by step how we can build an offer that's banger, and I'm going to build my offer, and you can kind of see how we do it. Okay, so foundations are laid. So first things first is we need to figure out our target market. So for the purpose of doing B2B lead gen, essentially, I'm going to keep this pretty broad. So just B2B service companies. Okay. I think a lot of people, when they are coming up with an offer or coming up with a service, they think, oh, I need to work with plumbers whose favorite color is blue and favorite food is pizza, and they live in this area and they drive this kind of car, blah, 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 blah. The problem with that is that's going to just ruin our total addressable market. Where it is relevant to have a really niche target market is going to be with the actual marketing and actually hitting people up when you actually go to market your services. Because if you are not clear on your niche, on your target market, then it's going to be really challenging to actually speak to your target market. So I say all that context that we're going to pick a wide target market. Cool. Pain points. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to ChatGPT on the same thread. I'm just going to say my target audience is B2B service companies. Give me 5 pain points and implications as it pertains to my offer of helping them with predictable lead gen using cold email. Make sure to speak the language of my audience. Also, make sure that the pain points are financially driven, meaning it would cause them to lose money, waste time, etc. Okay, let's see what this comes up with. Relying on referrals, perfect. Wasting time on unqualified leads, perfect. Lack of scalable acquisition system, perfect. Overpaying for PPC or ads that don't convert. Founder still handle sales. Beautiful. No reason to not use these right now. I'm going to copy these. I'm going to go to my pane. Boom. So let me just call out what's important here. So we have the pain point and we have the implication, and we're speaking the language of the B2B company. And we're also making sure all of our pain points are financially driven, because what we want to make clear in the pain points is that this is going to, like, these pain points are causing them to lose money, miss out on money, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Because that's what actually will convert and catch the attention of businesses. We can't be light with it. We can't be soft with it. So super, super, super important. So now I'm going to say, using the same principles I gave you, give me the desired outcomes. Predictable pipeline, only speak to buyers, not browsers. Beautiful. Build a growth engine, lower cost of acquisition, higher ROI, free up the founder's time. No reason to not use this for the desired outcomes. So again, same principles, financially implications. If you guys do have a niche, or you guys have like an idea of who you want to reach out to, it might be worth it to be more pointed there. But for this, I'm just going to keep it pretty high level for the most part. Because now what we're beginning to do is we're starting to like lay the foundation of like our messaging and our marketing. Next, we want to pick what we call the unique selling proposition, which is really meant to pique curiosity. There's probably a lot of people that do what we do. So one way that we want to stand out is we want to pique curiosity. And a way to pique curiosity is having like a unique mechanism or like a unique selling proposition, essentially. Because then what we can do is we can kind of dangle the carrot of this unique selling proposition that would get somebody to raise their hand, potentially. Okay. So that would be the goal of the unique selling proposition. So what I'm going to do, based on everything that you know about me, create me some ideas for a unique selling proposition or unique mechanism, like a catchy name. Predictable pipeline. I like this one. We're just gonna stick to that. Okay, we're flying through this, guys. This is not as hard as it could be. We already have our website, all that stuff dialed in. Cool. Guarantee. Guarantee is basically a risk reversal. Okay, so the purpose of the guarantee is to, like, naturally, when we jump on a sales call when we're selling this offer, they're always going to have skepticism, right? They're going to feel like, wow, this is a big risk. This is a risk for my wallet. This is a risk for my business, all that sort of stuff. So what a guarantee can do, assuming that you have the skill set, or maybe you're in the mindset of like, screw it, let's just like figure it out. Either way, what a guarantee is going to do is a guarantee is going to reverse any risk in the prospect's mind and make them feel better about their purchase, better about moving forward. So I'm going to throw a guarantee in just to like have as part of this practice. Maybe I'll use it. Maybe I won't. We'll figure it out when we get there. Guarantees I can throw in for my prospects. So again, we're just kind of using this to speed things up. Like this one, we only get paid when you get results. Maybe we could charge them when they get their first lead. Like a lot of these things, like not that it's like slimy or anything like that, but you can be creative with the guarantees because again, the purpose of the guarantee is to reverse risk. I might not even use these, okay? Done for you, set up in 7 days. I like this one too because that's in our control for the most part. Now, the problem with some of these is because I'm keeping it broad, it might not always apply. Like if it's a specific company that doesn't even book calls, for example, like some of these wouldn't make sense. Or if it's like a super, super high ticket item and I'm like guaranteeing qualified book calls, I don't know. I picked 2 that I can play with and see if it makes sense based off of when we get to that point. Like this could be based off of like a reply to the email. I like the speed one. That's pretty solid. But maybe as we get more further down the line and we pick our prospects and we pick who we're going to start reaching out to, then we can come up with guarantees for that specific offer. Now we just need like the deliverables. Give me a list of deliverables from A to Z. I'm thinking that I'll audit their sales process, get a list of 10,000 prospects or TBD, AI analyze based on triggers, write copy based on ICP plus triggers using AI. I'm going to use AI a lot throughout this because I think that's another thing that's going to pique curiosity. And maybe I should put that in the unique selling proposition, actually. I might go back and adjust that. Send 1,000 plus emails per day. Monitor inbox with positive reply using AI. That's fine. Warm up emails for client. Get domains plus website, let's call it, 24/7 access to our team, follow-up protocol to follow up on leads. So I'm just like throwing a bunch of ideas out on what I would do for them. Then I'm also going to say I want to ensure that I can get things up and running in 7 days. Cool. I think this should be fine. Cool. Nice. I don't mind this. Look at that. I dig this. I dig this a lot. Okay, cool. Pricing. All right, I'm going to go back to unique selling proposition. You know what? Why don't I just add AI to what we have? Put AI in the name. I'll just leave it how it is. Cool. Okay. So now I'm going to say, now let's talk about pricing. Give me pricing for a 3-month engagement. Give me a pay in full option and give me an option for monthly payments. When it comes to pricing, what I want to make sure is that I'm profitable. Okay. And when we're pricing a service like this, how do we make sure that we're profitable? Well, we make sure that we're profitable based off of the time it takes to fulfill the deliverables, the cost that it will take to set up any software, and basically taking in all those effects. Because when we're selling services, especially as a new business, it's our time, okay? And a lot of people, they'll throw numbers out there or they'll go really cheap, and they don't really realize if they break down how many hours that they're spending on that specific client, they're paying themselves sometimes even like minimum wage. So we want to protect ourselves, and we want to make sure that we're calculating the time that it takes to fulfill all the deliverables, the softwares that it's going to take in order to do it, the expense of what we're actually doing. We want to understand all that sort of stuff. And then what we want to do is we want to take our cost of goods, which would be like the software, and then we want to take our time, and then we want to figure out how much do we want to make from this from like an hourly perspective. And then what we want to do is we want to make sure we have a margin on top of that, basically a profit margin, so that eventually, as we scale this business, we can hire people for a specific cost. With all of that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it take the deliverables. I'm going to have it basically estimate how much time it's going to take in order to do everything. And then from that, I'm going to have it put a dollar amount per hour for each time that's going to take. And I'm also going to have it estimate how much it'll cost in software expenses. And then we're going to use that and we're going to mark that up. Okay, let's see how ChatGPT does with this, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay, I want you to take our deliverables and itemize them in 2 hours. Then I want you to assign, let's just do $30 an hour per task and mark it up. Let's just do 2x. I think I could also find people for cheaper than $30 an hour, but I'm going to be pretty protective here. Oh, let's do $25 an hour and mark it up 2 times. I also want you to put, let's just do around $600 in software expenses in there as well, and mark that up 2x as well. Give me the full breakdown that shows my cost of goods as well as the retail price and pricing options. Okay, so let's just see what this comes up with. And then obviously, because this is a new business, depending on the price, I might be flexible with this. I might adjust the pricing a little bit just to kind of get a couple people in the door. And then we can always raise prices later down the road. Let's see, total hours 89. Okay, so that's actually not that bad. Make it a list and itemize each deliverable. I want to see it this way. Cool. So now we're assigning basically time to each task. I like this. Round the numbers. So I'm just going to round these numbers. Okay. So round the numbers and give me a incentive for 3 months in advance. I like this. So pretty sweet. Okay. This is exactly how I would protect yourself from a pricing perspective. I'll just take this. Then your expectation becomes, hey, this is how long it should take for each section of our deliverables, essentially. So that way we're protecting ourselves and the company's making money so that we can reinvest back into growth. We can reinvest into marketing to get more clients, et cetera, et cetera. So this is super important. I think a lot of people do this not correctly, I would say. So cool. Painful, 5,500. Incentive painful, get a bonus re-engagement campaign in 3 months. Proven strategy. Cool. I think that's a good enough incentive. I don't need to do another one. So $5,500 or $2,100 a month. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So now we have our full offer breakdown. So we have the target market, B2B service companies. We have the pain, which is relying on for referrals, wasting time on unqualified leads, lack of scalable acquisition system, overpaying for PPC or ads that don't convert. The founders still handle sales. Perfect. Predictable pipeline and predictable revenue. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this. I'm going to say, based on my offer, give me a Notion ready document that breaks everything down. Target market, campaign outcomes, deliverable or USP, deliverables, pricing. That way I can just have everything in one, and maybe I'll use that like a little bit later on. Nice. I like it. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this, and I'll put it up here. Very good. Okay. Now that we have our offer dialed in, everything from a foundation perspective, what this does for me now is it makes me feel so much more confident in my messaging, in my marketing, and what I'm selling. I feel really clear that I can fulfill this really well. I have a step-by-step process on how to fulfill it, how to get them from where they are to where they want to go. I'm confident in my pricing. I have some unique mechanisms. I have a guarantee that I feel good about. This is the foundation that we need in our business in order to start selling it. Okay, cool. So now that we have the foundation, the next step is we need to get leads. Okay. That is our main priority. A lot of people, when they're starting businesses, they're like, oh, like I need to make my website really good. I need to spend a bunch of time on my branding. I need to overthink my offer. I need to do all this sort of stuff. No, what we need to do is we need to prove this offer and get clients. Okay. That is the first thing that we need to be doing. Once we have our offer dialed in, that's 90% of the time should be going to getting clients, outreach, trying to get your first client, which is what we're going to be doing today. So with that, we're going to begin our lead gen process. Because I'm offering cold email, that's going to be the same mechanism that I'm going to use to get clients as well. So there's a few different steps that I'm going to use in order to begin my lead gen, okay? Which is going to be getting a software, setting up the tech, and setting up the infrastructure of the software that I'm going to get. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to simply go to instantly.ai, which basically is the cold email software that I'm going to use to help these B2B companies. And it's going to allow me to also lead gen from there, because I'm going to refine my skill set, especially if that's what I'm selling. And I know that B2B service providers are on their email. They check their email. I mean, we pulled up some stats from our website that we added to our website, like 91% of B2B buyers prefer to be reached by email. It's 40x more effective, 5 times more growth than just solely relying on inbound. So with all of this, I'm going to practice what I preach, and I am going to use the same protocols that I have in my mechanism of getting clients to get clients myself. So with that, the software that I'm going to use is instantly.ai. By far the easiest way to set up, do everything really quickly, which is exactly what we're going to show you. So we're going to go ahead and get an account, and we're going to go ahead and create a workspace. I'm just going to call this Austin or Converter. Let's do this Converter. I'm going to click on Continue. And then it's going to prompt us to some plans. So we have some options here. So I'm going to do hyper growth. I'm going to do monthly, and I'm going to go ahead and create this as my plan. So this will be $97 a month. And the reality is like, if I get one client for $5,500 or $5,000, this just paid for itself several times over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and click yes, purchase. Perfect. And then what I'm also going to get is some Instantly credits, because they have what's called Instantly Copilot, which is really, really going to help me a ton as it pertains to coming up with campaign ideas and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to purchase this for $47 a month. Let me just break down the pricing here. Hypergrowth. I'm going to do $47 a month. Instantly credits. Make sure everything is loaded here. Perfect. And then I might need to get more credits eventually at some point. Let's just see how this goes. Okay, so I'm going to do 2,000 credits a month, $77 a month. Cool. That's my investment into Instantly so far. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to, perfect. Cool. Everything should be good to go. Now, what I need to do is I need to set up email accounts. So because I don't want to send a bunch of emails from my personal email, that is the biggest red flag. What I need to do is basically set up 3 different domains. So my goal setting this up is going to be sending 1,000 emails a day. What that means is I'm going to do a website. So I don't want to send from my personal email, because what that's going to do is it's going to basically end up in spam, and I'm not going to reach any of these B2B owners, and this is going to be a complete waste of time, and I'm definitely not going to get any results. How this looks is I'm going to basically set up one website, and I'm going to set up 3 emails per website. And with each email, I'm going to be able to send 30 a day. Okay, so 30 a day. Just trying to visualize this for you guys so that you can see this. 30 a day. In order to do that, I need a website or I need a domain. Let's call this domain, not website. I need a domain to purchase so that I can associate new emails with each domain. So these are going to be 5 emails that are going to be associated with the domain that I'm going to purchase. So 30 a day, and then email. Let's go 30 a day, and we are good. So each domain can handle 30 times 5, which is 150, I think. I'm just going to verify, 150. So if I want to send 1,000 emails a day, I need to get 7. I'm going to get 7 domains, so I can send 1,000 a day. If I'm going to send 30 per send. Okay, that's like my goal. That's going to be my baseline, and it'll be a good start. And then that's like a little bit more than 7. I could send a little bit more than 1,000 a day, but for the sake of this, even for having some like overages and stuff, I'm just going to get 7 domains, because each domain can send 150 emails. Come on, Austin. We got this. Math. Come on. Okay. So what typically we would have to do is we would have to, go to GoDaddy or these domain sites, buy a domain, set it up manually in Google, all that sort of stuff. I'm not going to do that. So with Instantly, one reason I really like it is I can quickly get stuff ready to go. So I can quickly get emails ready to go. So there's really 3 options. One, we go the manual route. So if you have a bunch of emails or domains like ready to go, you could totally do that manually. Secondly, you could do the done for you email setup, which is basically you pick your domain. So if I wanted like Converter, then it would give you some recommendations of some domains that you could purchase. And then what you would then do is you would buy the emails associated with each domain. And then with the emails associated with each domain, here, I'll just show you real quick. Let's just pick one. Then it would automatically create 5 emails for you, and you can place the order there. The thing with this is I'm trying to get a lead as quickly as possible and close a deal as quickly as possible. So I want to basically avoid the warm-up process, because with this process, you have to do a 2-week warm-up. This is a really, really solid process, and it works really, really well, especially from like a branding perspective, making sure like the email domain is consistent with what you do. So if you have 2 weeks to wait, I think this is a great option to do it. If you're like, hey, I want to get leads today, like me, then they actually have pre-warmed accounts, meaning they're already warmed up and we can skip the warm-up process. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pick 7 emails, okay? I don't know that there's anything similar, so I don't think that the domain name really matters that much, but let's just see if there's anything good. Sure, 1, 2, let's see if there's anything in email. 3, 4, convert maybe? No. Sales maybe? Nice. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 2 more. 6 and 7. Sure. Cool. So the annual price here is going to be $105. So let's just go ahead and put that in there as well. Let's do domain annual, $105, just so we can track everything. I'm going to click on next and forwarding domain. So I'm going to pick my website that we just made. What did I do with it? I put it right here. Cool. And now what I'm doing is I'm basically setting up my forwarding domain. So when people go to these websites, then they'll automatically be forwarded there. There we go. Cool. Names will automatically be populated. Perfect. And these are going to be $10 per month, which is competitive to everything, competitive to every any other way mechanism of getting emails. So let's go ahead and add them here. Again, like if I get one client, this still makes so much sense. And I'm sending over 1,000 emails a day and I'm getting the inbox. I think that's my goal. Okay. So let's go back here, go ahead and place order, and we are good to go. Cool. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on continue here. So what just happened? Well, all of the emails that I just purchased are now in my inbox. So, or my email section of Instantly, meaning they're ready to be used. They're ready to go. So that's pretty dope. So that's pretty much done. Like the infrastructure of our lead gen is good to go. It's going to be, this is the cost, so much it cost me so far. But again, I feel solid about this because the offer price point, I feel solid about my offer. It's just a matter of getting in the inbox and having a message that converts, which is what we're going to be working on. So now that we have our offer, we have our infrastructure, now it's time to actually set up the campaign and get everything dialed in. So I need to create some campaign ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use Instantly Copilot. So Instantly Copilot is essentially trained on cold email. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first set up the memory. So I'm going to have it read a PDF or text file. So why don't I just take what I I'm just going to say, make this way longer, please. And let's just see what this comes up with. And then in the meantime, I'm going to basically create a new doc. I'm going to paste this in there. And let's just see what this says here. Perfect. So now I'm just going to take this. I'm going to copy it. Go here, paste it here. Just for now, I'm going to do file, download as PDF. And then I'm going to go back to Instantly. I'm going to have it read a PDF. So you could also like have it read your website if you wanted to, because my website isn't perfect and it doesn't have like absolutely everything on there. I'm just going to use what we built in ChatGPT and extract it and add it. So what we're doing, it's kind of like creating a custom GPT, but this is in a sense training a cold email expert GPT inside of Instantly that's going to give me all of the intel that I need in order to come up with a successful campaign. So that's our first start. Okay. We're going to basically come up with our campaign. So what this did is it built our memory. So it gave me the business details. Perfect. The outreach goal. Ideal client profiles. Fine. Guidance. So I'm going to leave the guidance open for now. But what I would do is probably, let's just go ahead and, so it even created some ideal client profiles, which is pretty dope. Nice. So for now, what I'm going to do, sales and marketing, that's a good niche. Founders and executive sales. Cool. Yeah, these are good. So I'm just going to leave this for now. I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm not going to touch this. But what I want to do is I want to come up with some campaign ideas for my offer. Okay, so I'm just going to say, given my offer, what are some campaign ideas that I can create in order to get a lot of leads and generate a lot of replies for my offer? Give me the niche plus the angle. Okay. So the reason I'm using this is because this has intel of cold email protocols that actually work, as well as it can actually help me build lists and whatnot. So it can basically write full campaigns, which I'll show you here in a second. So I like B2B service agencies. So I'm just going to put these here. I like this one too, sales and marketing leaders at mid-sized B2B companies. Really like that angle as well. I think there's going to be a big TAM there. Let's see what else it gave me. Software and SaaS service providers, agency struggling with referrals. B2B service companies. Give me some more niches. I just want the niches for now. I like this one too. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a couple different campaigns because that's what's going to make sure that we are using these. I like accounting too, actually, a lot. Do I? Yeah, for like businesses. Like business accounting, like small accountants, like wanting to do lead gen. Perfect. Healthcare. I like real estate too. But I like real estate from probably like a mortgage perspective. So let's do mortgage. Okay. Let's break these down. Okay. Let's just do digital marketing agencies. Accounting. So mortgage. Marketing agencies. And what are some angles that I could do for each one? What pain points could I hit on? So now I'm going to ask Copilot, like, what has the biggest total addressable market? And then what are some angles for each one? So I think the mortgage, what I would probably angle it is like trying to find like referral partners, marketing agencies, client acquisition, good. Accounting firms, heavy reliance on referrals or networking, perfect. Recruitment firms. Just so I don't spend a bunch of time going through this. This is a really good table for me to reference. Tens of thousands. Sweet. Let's start with accounting firms. So now what I can do basically is I'm just going to say, create me a list of leads for the mortgage industry. Give me mortgage lenders only. Make them in United States. Title would be loan officer. So now what it's going to do is it's going to find a list of leads. So it found 41,000 leads. Let's go ahead and start the process of building our list of leads here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click Find Emails and Enrich. So now it basically just created a whole list of leads for me, which is pretty dope. I don't want company name is not US Bank. Whoops. US Bank, Wells Fargo. What else do I not want? What are other banks? Bank of America, Chase. Oh, I like these senior loan officers. What if I filter this in like high income areas? What that would do? I just know I don't want a bank. Okay, so let's use this. Let's do find emails. I'm going to continue. Let's do let's enrich 3,000 leads. Let's enrich 1,000 leads here. Click on continue. Insufficient balance. Shoot. So I need more tokens here. Perfect. So just loaded those back up. Let's go back to our search. Perfect. Go back here. Find emails. I'm going to find their work emails because that's going to be important. I'm just going to find 2,000 of these. Click on continue. And then let's get after it. So now we're going to find 2,000 loan officers. We're going to find their email. We're basically going to validate their whole profile, meaning we're going to find their LinkedIn, summary, industry, all that sort of stuff. So while that's loading, I'm going to open up Copilot again. I'm going to go back to my chat with them. Find me a list of accounting firms that are small and are B2B. So it'll take a little bit of time there. Financial services, accountant, accounting manager, finance manager. No, I don't want to. So let's go ahead and update these a little bit. We can remove owner. I'm going to do keywords, accounting, accountant, 25. Let's also add 0 to 25 here. 553. Okay, that's totally fine. If I do this, 603. Okay. Cool. Cue the accountant. Let's also add CEO. 803. Cool. Seller accounting. Cool. So let's just do the same thing here. I'm going to find emails, click continue. I'm going to enrich all these bad boys. So I have a couple lists going right now. These are being enriched. And we have the accountant going as well. So we're going to let this load here. Let's see. Recruitment firms. Find me a list of recruitment firms. Recruitment manager, talent acquisition manager. What are these companies called? Staffing. So I'm going to do keyword staffing and recruiting. Whoops. Staffing and recruiting. And I want CEO, owner. Cool. I really like this angle too because they're also B2B. Staffing and recruiting. Cool. I have a lot going on right now. And I think that would be all I'm going to go after. So while these are all loading, I'm going to go ahead and go to basically campaigns, and I'm going to add a new campaign, and we're going to do this accountants. And then I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to mortgage. And then I'm going to do, let's do staffing. Continue. Cool. So let's go ahead and extract these two. Continue. I'm just going to do 1,500 here. Let's do 1,000. Cool. Just so I have them. Okay. So I have 3 things being enriched, which is great. So we can see that it's finding the work emails of the loan officers. Perfect. And then it's going to do the same with the accounting and then the staffing as well once that gets going. Let's see how we're doing here. You know what? I'm going to start writing the emails for the mortgage because I think the mortgage will be pretty much across the board. And I don't think that I need too much personalization for the mortgage, so I'm going to start just writing that. So let's go ahead and do that. Sequences. So first sequence. So when it comes to the copy, the principles of the copy are going to be value driven and trying to get them just to reply, essentially. So this has been done. Let me just check that off. It's been done. Okay. So the copy is, I'm going to write this. Hi, first name. Once we get the leads loaded, got company name, ideas that could help increase referral partnerships with lenders and more. Had some outbound ideas that could. So let's go back here. Give me 3 outbound ideas for lenders that are building partnerships with real estate agents and other types of referral partners. Let's see what Copilot gives me here. Let's see. I like the co-marketing. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and just write the copy based off some of these ideas. Real estate agents and invite them. Audience. I like this one too. Oops. What else did it give us? Are these good? Let's do ChatGPT. Perfect. And then perfect. Cool. So I'm going to save this. These would help you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and save this. Let's check on our list of leads here. That's staffing. This is loan officer. Cool. I'm going to select all the results. I'm going to move these to my mortgage campaign. Go ahead and confirm. So let's go to my campaign. All of the leads are now added here, which is perfect. So we had a total of 1,300 that are good to go. Variables, add the first name. I'm going to add the company name here. Preview with real estate agents. Cool. And then here, let's go ahead and go to options. I'm going to select a bunch of these bad boys. Should be fine. Back to my sequences, cheers, variables. Sending account name is what I'm looking for. Account signature. Let's preview. For first name. Cool. Save. Variables. I'm just going to leave the subject line the same here. Cheers. Cool. So this campaign is pretty much ready to go, in my opinion. So first email, adding value with basically the protocol of sending something of value for free, essentially. Like that's what we want to do, is we want to give them a reason to say yes. And what's going to happen as they say yes is I'm going to send them the thing of value, and what they're going to be doing is they're raising their hand, meaning they're showing that they have interest in what it is that we're actually offering them. So let's go ahead and let's check this out. Make sure there's no spam words. Grow reachable. Cool. I'm going to apply that. And this is pretty much good to go. So first email is going to be the opener with some ideas. Second email is going to be a follow-up with a statistic. I don't have any case studies, so I'm just going to use some case studies here. Let's just go ahead and spam check this one real quick. Cool. AI tools, spam words checker, apply. AI tools, spam words checker, apply. Perfect. Let's make sure this one is good too. Apply. Cool. AI tools, spam word checker. I'm going to do 2 days. I'm going to do 1 day. Save. Cool. So now if I go to schedule, I'm going to send 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. I think that's safe. I'm going to do Pacific time. I'm going to go ahead and click on save here. I'm going to go to options, selected the accounts to use, 30 daily limit. We can send 400. We can send a lot because we have enough emails to do it. Advanced options, nothing really needed here for now. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. Let's check in on our other leads here. That's the loan officers, so that's loaded. Let's go back to super search, lead lists, accounting firms. Let's see what these are doing. I think this is pretty good to go as well. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and launch the mortgage right now. Let's just go ahead and go to sequences while everything else is loading. Perfect. I like this. Sendy. Let's go and preview this one. Save, and let's go to schedule. Oops. Save. Options. Save all these. Save. Go to schedule, save, options, launch, publish. So these are now live. Let's go. Now what we need to do is we just need to come up with a quick positive reply protocol. So basically what I'm going to do is anytime somebody responds here, which is really nice, is I'm actually going to be notified via email. So when somebody sends a response here, everything's going to go into the Unibox and they're going to automatically be flagged as positive or negative, etc. And what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to create a copy and paste email that I can send to them. So let's do based on these ideas, give me some emails they could send to their realtor partners. I'm just going to have them spit something out for me. That way it's just like ready to go. So if I need to send it, perfect. These are honestly perfect. So let's just call this mortgage. And then we're going to go ahead and have these on deck, ready to go. As we can see, this is now live. We haven't sent any yet. Let's go back to our lead list here. Let's go to recruiters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Copilot write me an email. So I'm targeting recruiters and want to offer them B2B lead gen to help them get more companies they can prospect. Write me a sequence that targets the staffing agencies. Make the call to action, a free list of 100 qualified leads they could start with today. Let's say, write me another one, but give them 3 outbound angle ideas and make the call to action, a list of 100 leads. So I'm just working the prompt, okay? Like AI is great, but oftentimes we need to work the prompt. It'll give us what we put in. So let's go ahead and see what this comes up with. So I'm going to use the one that I used here. And while we're sitting here, we have some campaigns, some replies. So they're out of office, which is totally fine. Expensive. And 20 words per idea. Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, I'm prompt engineering here. It's okay. This is how we get good results. So let's continue to prompt engineer until we land this and get some good ideas. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and click and use this in a campaign. I'm going to click on staffing and I clicked on confirm. So now in literally just 2 clicks, I have the sequences automatically loaded in here. So I'm going to go ahead and optimize these a little bit because AI can help us a little bit, but I want to dial this in a little bit more. Let's see. Cool. Not bad. Save. I'm just going to pick some more of these. Cool. I like these. I like these a lot. Thank you, AI. Thank you, Instantly Copilot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my lead list. I'm going to take this recruiting list. Looks like there's 1,000 of them. I'm going to go move them to my campaign of staffing. Cool. So campaigns, staffing, leads, all these bad boys are added. Just perfect. Go to my sequences. I'm just going to go ahead and check these bad boys out. Cool. Like these a lot. Cool. Let's just make sure everything is good. Wow. Nice. Really, really like these. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my options. I'm going to select all of the emails that I have. And I'm going to just change this to 500 for now. And I'm going to go ahead and publish. So those are now launched. So my call to action here is a list of leads. So that'll be a little bit of a more of a manual positive reply protocol, which is totally fine. If I get some positive replies, that'll be great. So staffing, I'm basically just going to do exactly how I did it before. Manually pull. And I have no issue doing that. So I think it's worth it. Cool. So now let's go to Copilot, generate an email sequence, targeting accountants that can reach out to B2B audiences, give them 3 ideas, and make. Let's just see what this comes up with. Call to action. I create an example email copy that they could use to. Let's see. Of the angles that they could use. Let's see what this comes up with. Close. Let's prompt it with this. I'm going to stick with the idea ones because I just want to add value. Okay, let's see what this comes up with. Way too jargony. Oh my gosh. So I'm going to say use 7th grade reading level so that the jargon is completely removed. Like it. Accountants, confirm. So now we can just go to accountants, sequences. So let's go back to our lead list because we need to add the leads first. Counting, select all results, row actions, move to campaign, move these to accountants, confirm. Cool. I think this is good too. We don't have a huge list here, but something. So let's go ahead and save it. Let me just triple check everything here. Cool. That looks good. Options. Let's launch, publish. Okay. Now we're going to create some email copy just so it's ready to go. Cool. Copy. Add this here. And we are live on all of these. So again, the goal here is to get some good responses here. So options, we're sending 500 here. We're sending 400 here, so that's 900. Accountants, we're sending, let's just put this at 500. 500. So we're sending 1,000 a day, pretty much, a little over 1,000 a day. And let's just see how this goes, okay? We're going to see how this starts ripping and starting to get some responses based off of this. Today's Thursday, so I'll check in with you guys. So now that we're live officially, I'll check in with you guys as we start to get responses, keep you up to date on just how the campaigns are doing, any modifications that I end up making, anything that I need to adjust based off of anything. And we will kind of take it from there. But this has been quite the setup, pretty much just deep focus grinding. And we are well on our way to growing this business and getting some leads. So I will check in with you as progress continues here and keep you up to date on the responses that we're getting. So let's go. It has been, 30 minutes since I launched it and already got a positive reply from Eric on the loan officer campaign. So he wants a example copy to show what this could look like in action. Cool. So I think I built that. Yes, I did. So we're just going to say, here's the copy. I'm just going to actually attach this as a doc. So it's like less distracting, essentially. File, download, PDF. I'm going to share the link. Share. So I'm just saying, hey, copy, here's the copy to get FaceTime with some real estate partners. Copy link. Let's go here. And then I'm going to add the link here. Licensed in a... I'm going to be more conservative here. I don't know, but I think this would do really, really well. So we typically see about 20% of the emails we send to realtors getting a response. Definitely clean up for you. what I'm doing is I'm just basically saying, hey, Araz, here's the copy to get FaceTime with some real estate partners. Looks like we are licensed in most states. This could easily be scaled up. So I'm trying to pique curiosity. I'm trying to get them excited so that they say yes to the next step, which would be hopefully jumping on a call. Looks like you're licensed in most states. This could easily be scaled up. We typically see around 20% of the emails we send to realtors getting a response. Thing could definitely clean up for you. Would you be open to me sharing the whole workflow with you, demoing the whole workflow with you, how you can implement it on a 15-min call? Cool. Send. First positive reply. Not bad. So we want to keep responding quickly. Tomorrow is the 4th of July, so I'm actually going to pause the campaign after 3 p.m. just so that we don't send on the holidays, because I don't want to burn my sends. It could work, but I know people's attention won't be there. So I'll probably after 3 p.m. pause and then pick it back up on Monday, depending on the results from the campaign that we're sending today. So far, so good. All right. So it is Monday. And as you guys know, I paused the campaign over the weekend. It was a holiday on Friday, so I know that threw things for a mix for sure. So really 3 points of agenda this Monday morning. Let's go 4. 1, let's review what we got. So naturally, some unsubscribes. Totally fine. Totally normal. Expecting that for sure. Also, not interested. Perfect. This came from the campaign of the accounting campaign. No worries. And then a lot of out of offices. So that's what I was noticing on Thursday. So, but we do have 2 positive replies. So first things, review how the campaigns are doing. So let's look at the campaigns. I could see the campaigns. Perfect. 1.4% reply rate. It's almost and more than double than some of the other campaigns, which is great. Okay, review campaigns, check. Next thing that I want to do is I want to turn these bad boys back on. Check. Third thing I want to do is I want to follow up with the positive replies. So I'm going to go into our CRM here. I'm going to go to our opportunities. Let's put our default deal value at 5,000. And I want to go through the positive replies that I got. So I have Dennis. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my Unibox, and I'm going to go ahead and find my positive replies. So Dan was one of them. Let's go ahead and let's do some intel on Dan here. So let's go ahead and see if we can find anything on Google, because I'm going to try to find something personal about him that I can mention. Let's see. Maybe I'll hit up his LinkedIn. 6 years in the business. Okay. Let's go ahead and ping him again here. So I'm just going to go ahead and reply to this email. Let's go. Dan, circling back here. Hope the 4th was amazing for you and the fam. Let me know. Feel free to drop some times this week that could work for you to review what could be your new secret weapon. Have a good one. Cheers. So I'm going to go light with the follow-ups. I'm going to be human, right? So I'm not going to be like, oh, here's my Calendly. Here's my calendar. One, I don't have a Calendly right now. But I'm going to just be light, be human, right? Like I talk, not be too formal, all that sort of stuff. And let's go ahead and send this bad boy. Okay. So I had another positive reply, which is going to be a res. So let's reply to a res again. Let's see if I can find something about a res. Okay, let's do some research here. Nice, he's posting 6 days ago. $30 million producer. So what's this guy's name? Bishoy. Cool. So let's mention something about, because he just did a video, like a talking video, and this is a great leverage point, and he's doing talking videos. Wow, nice. Let's go. He's doing talking videos. He's been doing talking videos, and this is a good kind of like leverage point that he could, well, was basically my idea of what I pitched to him. So let's go ahead and say, Arez, hope you and the fam had a good 4th. Was checking out your Instagram. The video you did with Bashoy is his name. Bashoy. So you've done in the past. Awesome work. Think this, but also partnered up with realtors to deepen the relationship, get them exposure as well as you, since they'd post it on their feed. Would be some great FaceTime and a killer angle for you to execute. Let me know if you have time, or I'll be more direct here. Do you have time this week for a 15-minute demo to share how this strategy works? P.S. We have a few different angles we take with a few different niches. Cheers. And Athena. Okay. So, third thing, check, which is the follow-ups. So I can easily filter by the leads in the Unibox, which is nice. Okay. So we reviewed the campaigns, we turned them back on, and we sent our follow-ups. The last thing that we're going to do is add more volume. Okay, that's going to be the name of the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back to Super Search. We're going to go to our save searches, which is already in here. Let's find another 2,000 emails. I'm going to go with mortgage again for now, because I think that's a pretty solid angle. So let's see if I can even dwindle this down a little bit more. Maybe California, maybe Arizona, maybe Texas, maybe Florida. I'm trying to do like high affluent areas where real estate is good. Probably not Texas, actually. Let's do, what else would be good? New York, why not? New York State. I think that's a good start. Let's find emails, 3,000. So perfect, fully enriched profile. Don't need that. Let's go ahead and click continue. And let's enrich. Let's do another 2,000 here. Cool. And let's let this find the emails. Then all I'm going to do is I'm just going to add them to the campaign that I already have so that we can continue to up the volume of the campaign that's working fairly well. So let's go ahead and do that. So it's building the lead lists, still enriching. We can see up here on the top right. And it's only going to give me the validated emails, which is paramount here. So I'm only paying for the validated emails, which is super, super nice. So let's just let these bad boys load. And this should hold me over for the day. And really my process here going forward is going to be rinse and repeat. Follow up, add more volume, potentially add another campaign later today or tomorrow. We'll kind of see if we can get an appointment with what we have, and hopefully close a deal from that. So let's let this enrich. Cool. This one's good. Getting there. So this goes through a waterfall enrichment approach where it basically just validates the data that we're getting, which is important, obviously. Okay, this one is enriched. So I'm going to go ahead and select all results, and I'm going to go ahead and move these to the campaign of mortgage confirm. So all those are going to be added. pretty quickly. All the leads with data, perfect. Let's go to the next one, and this is still enriching, which is good. This is worth the wait, guys, because what it's doing is it's finding the work emails and it's validating it. It's making sure that it's actually legit. And the good news is we only pay for the emails that they actually validate. So if they can't find the email, then that's totally fine. So I'm going to go ahead and filter. I'm going to filter by, no, I'm not going to filter by that. And what I'm also going to do in my campaigns, I'm going to go back to the mortgage. I'm going to go to my options, and I'm going to go to advanced options. And I'm going to only send to Google email service providers. Okay, let's go back to Super Search. Let's go back to our lead list. Looks like this is done. Edit list. No, that's totally fine. Let's go ahead and select all results. Let's go and move to campaign of mortgage. Confirm. So I found 1,976 leads, which is great. And we are all set. Cool. So I'm going to enable provider match for deliverability boost. So basically, it's going to match your leads email provider with a mailbox, provider boost for deliverability, Outlook to Outlook, Google to Google, etc. So basically, that's only going to be sending to Google emails, which is going to help with deliverability, which is important. I'm going to click save there. Let's go to our leads. We can now see them in the campaign. Perfect. Cool. So should be good. So we sent 1,000 on Thursday, so we should be able to send another 1,000 today, given the update. And I'll check back in a little bit later as we get some results here, as well as what I decide to do based off of the results that we're getting. But so far, not so bad. I'm not disappointed, given there was a holiday on Friday and Thursday. Getting good response rates on the mortgage campaign side, so I'm going to add volume to that so I can send 1,000 to them, and we'll see if I need to make any adjustments based off of that. But so far, not discouraged, feeling good. Just got to keep following up, keep an eye out for everything, speed to lead, and keep getting after it. So that's the update. All right, so I got another positive reply, which is great, and this is from our recruitment campaign. So the call to action here would be send a free list of 100 qualified leads that you can start with today with the value that I've given them, and they asked what the cost was. So I need to fulfill on what I'm promising. So I'm basically going to use some of my credits for this and give them a list of leads. So who am I going to? So HR managers at companies scaling quickly. Let's build a list. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to find a list. I'm going to do job titles, human resources. It's fine. Management levels. Let's do VP level, director level, C level. So 185,000, not bad. And then let's kind of play with some of this funding stuff. So angel, seed, pre-seed, series A. So all I need is 100. So let's go ahead and see here. Phillips, no. I don't even know what this means. So let's go ahead and do employees 25 to 100. Then let's do location, United States. And human resources manager. How can we know if they're growing? Cool. I think this is a good size here. Flooring. Okay, let's this should work. I think this is fine. And then we're going to continue. We're going to enrich 125 just for safe measure. and then let's let this work. So in the meantime, let me get the Unibox open up. And he asked what the cost. So I will address it. I mean, that's something that happens a lot, typically. So, hey, Dylan. Thanks for getting back to me. Hope you had a good 4th. Let's see if I can find any info on this guy. Seasonal work, full-time travel. So he's a big outdoors guy. Cool. Nice. So he's living out of his van. That's kind of interesting. Hey, Dylan, thanks for getting back to me. I hope you had a good 4th. Where in the world did you get to experience it? Quite the traveler. And of HR, leaders in in 1 million to 50 million revenue. Regarding pricing, I'm just gonna say we have different levels. Best bet is to do a 15-minute demo to share what would be best for you. Got time. Can shoot over an invite. Cheers, Roger. Cool. Okay. So that's my follow-up email. This is enriched. So I'm going to go ahead and export these. I'm going to go ahead and actions. Select all results. Row actions. Download selected. CSV. I want to put this into a Google Sheet. Let's rename human resource leads. Open with Google Sheets, and then file, share with others, and you want the link, view it. Perfect. Let's go back to instantly. Just hyperlink this bad boy. Boom. Cool. And send it. Sweet. It's a positive sign, getting some good positive replies here. Cool. Let's just keep it rocking. I'm going to keep my eye out. A quick update, got a few more positive replies, responded to them. A lot of out of offices simply because it was a holiday weekend, which is all good. So if I go to the statuses, let's see, interested, have a few, so just need to continue to follow up with them and try to get appointments. One of the people said that they have somebody helping them out, which is totally fine. But I do need to follow up with this one. So my agenda today is I'm going to do another follow-up on a couple of people, and then I'm going to actually create a new campaign. So I'm at like that 1,000 a day mark. I feel pretty positive about where we're at, what we've been able to achieve so far. But I want to test new angles, and I want to test new offers to different people. So that's what we're going to do. So first things first, we're going to follow up with Dylan here. So, hey, Dylan. On a quick demo. If we can get you in front of you, get our strategy. Roger. And I know that there's something personal about him. Cool. So also very curious where you're traveling at the moment, because he basically said he lives out of his van. So I want to make that clear in the message that I sent. So go ahead and follow up with there. Dan, let's just do another touch base here. In front of more realtors. Cool. So circling back here, this is my second follow-up with Dan, who has a positive reply. And I'm kind of being a little bit more aggressive with follow-ups, trying to get on calls, just for the sake of booking some meetings for you guys. So that's the goal. Jolie, this was just yesterday. So cool. Not feeling too bad, not feeling too horrible, but what I want to do is I want to create a new campaign. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to campaigns, and I'm going to do like web SEO. Okay. Because I think that would be a good angle for who I am targeting. What we're going to start with is we're going to use Copilot. So let's just say, write me a campaign with 3 ideas, with the subject line, 3 ideas for their business. Let me just give them the ideas because I wrote those down. In the opener, make these the 3 ideas. Let me go to my other campaigns and look at how I wrote this, because I'm going to be efficient here. We're going to do sequences. Let's just say, make the copy like this. So, 2 drum. Okay. What's my call to action? So I'm just going to have Copilot, instantly Copilot write me my email sequence based off of what I want to prompt it, based off the idea, based off of what I've been doing. So, and I'm going to make the offer stronger. I'm going to say 100 leads plus an email example. So this will get us started, and I can just copy and paste this into my campaigns, and then we'll be good to go. So let's go ahead and build that out. And in the meantime, I'm actually going to start building this list here. I'm just going to do super search here. I'm going to do job title is going to be CEO, founder, co-founder, owner, should be fine. I'm going to do location, United States. Perfect. Cool. Perfect. That looks good. And then I'm going to do keywords here. So keywords, I'm going to do web design, SEO, PPC, website development, website. This gave me a list of 7,860, which is pretty solid here. Just scan these. Web development. Let's try to make this even more specific. Cool. Nice. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and find these emails. Then we're going to continue. We're going to enrich 2,000 leads here. Continue. Let's enrich 1,500. Okay, so let me go ahead and just save this real quick. Okay, find emails, work email, continue, 1,500, continue, let's go. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and using the campaign, I'm just going to pop this into my campaign and click confirm. Let's go to my campaigns, and this should now be added in my campaign, which is perfect. Now this is enriching my leads, which is perfect. So that will take a minute. Let me just, while that's loading, I'm going to look at this copy. Let's change this to 3 outbound ideas for company name, outbound ideas for company name, outbound ideas for you. Cool. Let's check these out. Saw you run company name. How to love it. Love it. Love it. This is a great, great, great email. Offer a free Google ranking report highlighting missed local search opportunities, and they can add that. They can unlock potential. Offer a free. Nice. Let's just do offer a free ranking report. Let's just use 2. So I'm gonna save. I'm gonna remove the subject line because I want it to be the same subject line in the same email. It's fine. I like it. I'm just gonna make this a little bit more conversational. Cool. Remove the subject line again. I'm going to make the call to action just a little bit more urgent. Is this? That's fine. Is this something you're interested in? Whatever. Okay. Realize you're busy, but wanted to check in to see. Let's try this. Cool. I like this a lot. Really strong offer. I think that's really the goal here, is to get a strong offer. Cool. So I think all these are good to go. So I'm going to go back to my lead list here. And all these are good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and select all results. I'm going to move to a campaign here. Move to campaign. We're going to do web SEO. Confirm. So I got 1,490 leads from this, all verified, which is encouraging. Okay, so we're going to go to campaigns. We're going to go back here. We can see our leads in here. Filter. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to options here. I'm going to go ahead and add all of my emails. Cool. So I can send up to 1,050. Stop sending emails on reply. Enabled. Open tracking disabled. Let's go down here. Provider matching for deliverability boost. I'm going to check that. So that will just make sure I'm delivering and actually going to go to like Google to Google, Outlook to Outlook. So in this case, it'll be Google to Google. So I'll be sending to Google email service providers, which is going to help me out. I'm going to go ahead and click save. Let's go to the leads. Cool. It's fine. Let's go to sequences. Let me just do a quick little preview. So again, just making it a little bit more conversational. Cool. I like these. Cool. This is good to go. 9 to 6. Totally fine. And options. This looks good. Let's go ahead and launch this bad boy now. That's going. I'm going to go ahead and check back in on these bad boys and keep you up to date on how everything's rocking and rolling. But that's the update so far. That's what I just did. And I'm going to keep continuing to optimize. My next step will be to basically double the amount that I'm sending if we don't get traction on some of these positive replies that I'm getting. Because at the end of the day, it only takes one. Okay. So let's just keep getting after it. Since we last talked, we have set up a couple more campaigns. The staffing one is looking pretty good with a 1.3% reply rate, 2.5% reply rate on the web/SEO campaign that I created. For this one, I did an offer of 100 leads for free along with the example outreach email that they can use. Got quite a bit of hits. What I've really been doing is just managing the opportunities and sending a lot of follow-ups to the people that have said yes. So to get over $106,000 in interested people, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it. I also created another campaign for creative agencies because the web/SEO one did so well. I figured if I could be really specific with like a creative agency, that would also work. And then I also came up with an angle for like commercial real estate agents because, they are really specific with their outreaches. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to basically create a campaign that was targeted towards a specific company that they work at. And then what I did is I came up with really targeted outreach methods that they could do because I know that their ticket value, their lifetime value of their customer is super, super high. All in all, we've been pretty good with the outreaches. I've been pretty disciplined with the follow-ups and things are looking pretty good. I mean, a 1.3% reply rate, accountants 2.2%, staffing not that great at 1.3%, but some hopeful positive replies, guys. Again, at the end of the day, we are one email away from getting results. And I'm still being consistent with 1,000 a day. Feel pretty hopeful with that sending volume. So I'm not like too discouraged for that. I think my next step would be to add in Saturday and Sunday just to send even more emails. But all things are looking positive. All things are looking good. And to tail off of that, I have somebody interested in setting up a time. So if we scroll down here, this was actually from a follow-up email in the recruitment campaign, And basically they said, send over a list. And what I did is I just used the super search, used some credits that I have, and I sent them a list of 125 leads. And then I was specific to who that was. And basically what I did is I looked at their website and I looked at what it is they actually do. And I was like, okay, cool. It looks like they place executives like that. That's the main thing that they do. So then what I did is I came up with some ideas specific to how we could use AI to detect trigger events from a targeted list like the above, specifically for this specific company. So I wasn't just sending the lead and saying, oh, here you go, like, let's do it. No, I was actually looking at their website and coming up with an idea based off of their specific business so that I can actually have something to give them and have something to send over to them. So what I did here is I said, what we do is we use AI to detect trigger events from a target list. In your case, like executive departures, funding rounds, and acquisitions, you can reach out right when companies need leadership help because that's what they do. For example, a CFO just exited, we flag it in your first line in the search. A VP just got promoted, perfect time to offer leadership coaching. A company just got laid off, mid-level leaders, ideal moment for candidate advocacy, which is the 3 services that they say that they offer on their website. It's like having a radar for your next client. Would this make sense for a 15-minute demo? They replied, sounds interesting. Let's set up a time to discuss. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to send some times that work. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. I'm literally just going to send them an invite. So what I'm going to do, they have the AI reply up here, but I'm going to click on reply. I'm going to say, Tim, sounds great. I'm going to shoot you over an invite for tomorrow at 4 p.m. your time. I'll set it up with my founder, Austin Schneider, who will lead the call. I'll follow up tomorrow to ensure you're all good for it. Really, really looking forward to going over this with you and sharing some ideas. Cheers, Gary. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my calendar here and I'm just going to use my Gmail account, to be honest. Like I'm not going to overthink it too much. I'm going to go to tomorrow at 4 p.m. their time. Make it a 30-minute invite. I'm going to say Tim X Austin. Add my Zoom link here. I'm going to invite him, Tim at recruiting.com. Cool. So that is now on the calendar. So invite has been sent. So we've been able to book this appointment here. So I'm going to move this to meeting booked, which is pretty solid. A lot of out of offices, but still feeling pretty strong. I will follow up on how this goes. And then we have another one here. So Zachariah. So we're going to send an invite to Zachariah. And we're going to send another booking here. And boom. All in all, to recap the results, we have been able to send around 12,000 emails. We have been able to get from that 24 or 26 opportunities. And from the 26 opportunities, we've been able to book 2 calls so far. So things are looking up, guys. I'm feeling pretty positive about where we're headed and feeling positive about closing one of these deals. I mean, if I can close, 30%, then there should be no reason for me to not get a deal here. So let's go. How you doing? How's the business been? I know it's been like 9 months since you launched it, went off on your own.
Yeah. Doing all right.
Good for you. Yeah. I mean, you crushed it at Epic Games, it looks like.
Yeah.
It's quite the feat.
Yeah, it was a good run.
Yeah, no kidding. And you're in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Cool. Nice. I'm in San Diego.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thanks for taking time. We'll just make this as quick as possible, and I can run through what would be most helpful. But would love to just get some context before we kind of dive into it, if that's cool with you.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess what piqued interest to even jump on the call from the email? Like, what was it about it?
Well, it's I've been talking about different lead gen things. With recruiting, it doesn't work the way that most companies want to do it.
Sure.
I think it works. It's a very nuanced thing, and so it's not like, hey, I've got a product. We repair HVAC, right? And then it's like, here's a group of people who might need HVAC repairs. That's very generic. With recruiting, I mean, you get into what platforms people are developing on, you get into what tech stacks within a platform, you get into, all sorts of things. So you can't really say, hey, I've got a guy that knows C++. Like,
Sure.
We use Java.
Yeah.
Who cares? Or we're a Unix shop, So it's just hard when you try to do it generically. And so you guys kind of having an opportunity, it looks like, where you're kind of like, hey, here are the people, or here are the companies. Now you do a little bit of work and help us figure out, how to approach those companies and who the people are within them. Just seem a little bit more appealing.
Yeah, less like, hey, let's just slap up an ad and cross our fingers and hope people fill out this form, when your audience seems like a little bit more sophisticated, and it kind of requires more of a sophisticated touch as well. Okay, I guess from a current situation perspective, are you pumped with the amount of leads that you're getting and what you're doing? Are you
No, not at all.
you're trying to scale and grow?
Yeah. We'd like to definitely scale it up.
And what does that mean? Tell me, when you say scale it up, what does that look like?
Yeah, I'd like to grow until it kind of breaks. You also have a situation where, you have a client, you provide the service, and the client kind of goes away for a while. There may be repeat business that you constantly have to be prospecting while you're fulfilling. And, so what's the exact number? I'm not sure yet. I'll know when it's more than I can handle, but I'm just not quite at that point yet.
Yeah. What do you feel like you're at now? And then what do you feel like you could handle? Let's just say this month, for example, if you had X amount of clients this month, you'd be like, okay, this feels right, or this feels good, or I feel hype.
So I probably have 3. If I could have 10, that would be great. Okay.
And then are these 10 companies that are looking to hire? Or are these 10 people that you're trying to do candidate advocacy for, or
10 companies that are looking to hire.
Okay. Then you're doing around 3 right now?
Yeah.
Ish. Okay, and then where's your head at right now? Are you hey, I'm trying to solve for leads ASAP? Or are you hey, I'm just kind of thinking about it?
Yeah, let's solve it ASAP.
Okay, cool. Cool if I share my screen. I feel like there could be some things that we could help you out with. I can just go over our process a little bit and then kind of share exactly how we set everything up and then how we launch everything and then kind of just go from there. Basically, how we kind of first operate is coming up with like offer slash ICP. What we would do is we would kind of undercover, okay, who is your ideal client profile? Why do they work with you? Why have they worked with you? What kind of companies are they? What's irking them? What are their pain points? What are their desired outcomes? What have they tried in the past? Like, what is it that your ideal customer actually struggles with? And we would first basically come up with like an ICP doc, which is pretty extensive. We use AI to build it out to really dive into our specific avatar that we want to be working with and who it is that we want to actually be targeting when we do actually reach out to them. Because the thing like with cold email, a lot of people, or just outbound in general, is people just like blast the same message to as many people as possible. And the problem with that is if you're like, I would rather send 20 emails a day than 200 that are, targeted to a really, really specific avatar with a really, really specific message that's actually going to speak to their ideal pain points and the desired outcomes that you can then solve. So for us, we would come up with, okay, who's the ICP and what is like the initial offer that we could then hit them up with? And when I say offer, this could mean just like a seed planting conversation. Like maybe it's just adding value. Maybe it's, hey, you're offering to do something for free. Because a lot of people, when they do outbound, is they try to go in for a kill. They try to say, hey, let's jump on 15 minutes tomorrow. They don't know you. They don't trust you. They don't have any, like, there's no value in place for them to actually, say yes to you. So why would they even say yes? So we like to lead with value, kind of like what we did with you. It's like, cool, we're going to send you 100 leads and we're going to send you an example email that you could use to these 100 leads. And I'll explain the process of how you could use this example for yourself. Then you probably felt, oh, like that seems nice. And then you're open to a conversation because I wasn't like, hey, let's just jump on a call tomorrow. We would probably come up with 5 to 6 different angles that we would then test in our outbound strategy. So these are angles. So this could be like, hey, let's just do like adding value. Let's say, hey, we want to offer them, I don't know, something that we come up with, whatever, leading with value just to get people to raise their hand. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get basically contacts to raise their hand and say yes. That's like the development. Then it becomes list building. So what we would then do is we would pull a list of the ICP. So we would say, okay, cool. We want SaaS companies doing $1 to $5 million per year. We want a list of founders. We want a list of HR people. We want a list of blah, 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 blah. So what we would do is we'd figure out, okay, cool, what's our TAM on each one? And then we would start to evaluate that list. So we would then pull the lists for you. We would build all the lists. Like we would do all the research to find like a really good list based off of our ICP that's actually going to receive the email and say, yeah, this is something of value, or this is actually speaking to them. Because what we don't want to do is we want to email the wrong person. And that goes into like the next process, which is I'm just going to call AI enrichment, where we would find like, I don't know, trigger events. So let's just say company raised money. They're likely going to be hiring soon, wouldn't they be? So we would basically know they've received seed funding, or they just started hiring. Cool. Then what we would do is we would put them into a specific campaign for them to start getting your emails like, hey, congratulations on your recent funding. Means you're probably hiring. Would love to shoot over a quick blah, 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 blah. That could help with your fast track of growth. And then we'd also enrich the profile. So there's a lot of stuff that we can do from like a enrichment perspective to then feed into another specific campaign. Because when we reach out to them, like we don't want it to feel like it's inhumane. We want it to be something that's based off of a specific event that we would come up with. That's really the foundation. And then once we have the foundation, that's when we basically set up the campaigns. So after we identify the campaigns and the angles that we would do, we would set up the campaigns in a tool called Instantly, which you'd have access to. You'd be able to see everything, and we would launch. And from that, we would then basically evaluate like how everything is doing, which campaign is performing well and the best against each other. And then what's going to start to happen is you're going to start to get replies. So we have what's called a Unibox. So inside of the Unibox is where all of the replies to the email go to, and our team will actually monitor in the Unibox for you. So based off of what we're sending in the campaign, we would just manage sending that over to the client that responds. So maybe it's an audit, maybe it's like a Loom video, maybe it's like a PDF, maybe it's an action item for you where you need to like dive into the actual business that replied. Then we would then forward to you to make action to respond to that positive reply based off of whatever it is that we sent over to them. And then if it is something that's like prefixed, we can even like respond with it, because speed to lead is super important, and we'll actually respond and like try to set the appointment inside of the Unibox. But for the most part, depending on what we decide on the call to action to be, which would be value based, we would likely forward to you to then manage that relationship from there. And then last but not least is just like analytics. We'd have like a real time dashboard and be able to see everything from that point of view inside of Instantly, and then just make improvements pretty much like on a weekly basis based off of how everything is actually going from that perspective. So like typically like what we like to aim for is, you know, a 3% to even like 10% reply rate. And then from there, we want 50% of these to be positive. So not like take me off the list, not interested. And then from there, our lead to booking should be around another like 50%. That would be our goal targets of what we'd be trying to get. So 1,000, I'll just do like low end. If we sent 1,000 emails, then the goal would be, I'll just do 5 because I can do that math. It'd be 5 or 50 replies. And then from that 25 replies. And then from that 25, like looking like really positive. Yeah. So that's kind of the framework. So it's definitely not generic. It's a little bit more involved than like you and I would work together pretty closely on this to make sure that it's actually good. And it all starts with the offer. It all starts with the ICP. It starts with the AI personalization and making sure, again, like I'd rather send 1,000 emails to like a really, really targeted list than pull a list of 50,000 people and just blast it.
A lot of people don't pay attention to brand degradation with bad emails.
100%.
Yeah, like no, it's just more. People start to think poorly of you if you send, you know, hey, I'd like to talk to you about engineers, you know, to the HR person, you know, and what problems different people are trying to solve. So it's, you know, that's something to pay attention to. So, you know, less, more effective, and go at it that way.
We want to be like more is not more, better is better at the end of the day, especially with cold email. Like I'm sure you get tons of cold emails every single day. And it's like, so does everyone else. We want it to not look like a cold email. We want it to feel like, hey, this is a personal email and you're just reaching out to add some value, or you're trying to just get them to raise their hand, build that relationship. Because I'm sure the sales cycle here can sometimes be long, but it's okay if you plant the seed, get the contact, have a good rapport, have a good reputation with a specific person. Because when they think of recruiting, then they'll think of you.
And so what is a timeline to kind of do it? I guess the important part is, so assuming I'm responsive, getting you stuff on the time that you need it, you know, need from me, and then you guys plan getting all this stuff set up, what would be the realistic time frame from now to that goal started to have conversation?
Yeah, good question. So it's mostly the foundational stuff that's going to take the longest. Typically, we ask for about 3 weeks right here, just so we can make sure that we're like super dialed in with the offer, the ICP, because that'll take some going back and forth. And then building the list and like enriching the list also takes a little bit of time to really land on to make sure that this is good data. But this is where I'm going to spend the most time is the offer, who we're targeting, who is our ideal person, what are the different angles that we can go out with these people, because that will be what kind of decides on the other elements of it.
And then so 3 weeks there, and then start to plug things in.
Yeah.
And I mean, is that day? I mean, when you see that, is it, you know, I'm assuming you've done this before. So, you know, are you seeing, you know, kind of things getting, you know, after that 3 week period? Is it, you know, kind of a week turnaround? Does it take time to get things set up? You know, different ways of doing this where you've got to have multiple inbox or email boxes and you've got to warm them up, and that takes time, and you know all these different complexities that you don't know are going on behind the scenes.
Yep.
So how does, you know, when if we started, let's say we started Monday working on the offers, is it a month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? Yeah, I'm not holding each of this. I'm just trying to get that part.
Yeah, I mean, first things first is we would for sure warm up all the emails, like deliverability, like that's paramount. That's a 2-week process just to warm up the emails. So that would happen just like in the background. We would purchase the emails for you. We would set up the domains for you and optimize them for deliverability. They'd be Google domains, so they'd be good and pretty much ready to go, and they'd be contextual with like barrel recruiting. So it'd be like recruityournexthire.com or sasrecruiter.com or something along those lines, like similar domains, which would automatically forward to your main domain. So that would happen, and it would be a 2-week process. We want to build it up to around sending 30 emails per day per email. But yeah, that would happen behind the scenes. And then as that's happening, then we're doing all this stuff right here, the foundational work. And then once we have the foundational work and write the copy, then the campaign will be launched. Like the good thing about email, depending on the list size and depending on the angles that we go at, like we can rapid fire implementation, because if this is our target right here, cool, then we will be able to see pretty quick feedback on if we're on track for that, and then just evaluate based off of that. And then inside of Instantly, we'd have like a CRM where you can like manage everything, and we can see how many positive replies that we're getting, and really come up with like the ratios and the equations for it.
Gotcha. And then what is a typical investment look like?
So this would be around 3 weeks, and then afterwards we would probably do like 3 months of optimization. And optimization looks like potentially revisiting the offers, revisiting the list, revisiting trigger events, and then creating new campaigns and continuing to test so that we can hit on these numbers of the 3 to 10%. And then, so basically it would be 4 months. And then over the course of the 4 months, it would just be $4,000. And that would include the domains and emails, the list, us monitoring the Unibox, analytics, all that stuff.
Once we go through a 3 weeks, you and I are working together. What is my involvement? Am I doing anything other than fielding calls? I mean, where do I need to kind of plug back in? Obviously, anything regarding those offers that ICP, what kind of triggers do we want? You know, those kinds of things. We need to talk about that, right? But other than that, what is my participation?
Yeah, you would do the heavy lifting with us on the initial setup, just to make sure that we're super, super dialed. And then, like I said, on like the Unibox monitoring, we're only going to send you things that you need to respond to. So like you'll have access to see like all the replies and see people say, take me off your list, whatever, if you really wanted to. But what we'll do is we'll basically send you the email and say, hey, this is a positive reply. We need you to send a Loom video of an audit of their job description, whatever, or whatever it could be that we decide on the offer. And then your expectation would be to do that timely, because speed lead is important. And then you just be talking to the positive replies. And then basically from there would be to follow up with those people and to make sure that you're trying to get them from hand raised to appointment booked. And we have like follow-up protocols that we can send you and SOPs for that to make sure that you're on top of it. And then you can manage it in the CRM. But like, 'cause that would be like your voice and stuff like that. Like we can get it to you, but I want you to manage that. But follow-up is part of like being super, super important after they do raise their hand, because that's where it can turn into an actual opportunity.
That makes sense. Let me think through this. And try to kind of figure out how it fits within what I'm trying to do. It all looks pretty. I mean, it seems pretty logical. But I just want to take a little bit of time and digest it.
Sure.
Kind of figure out where we go from there.
Yeah.
But we should be able to connect with you early next week and figure something out.
Yeah. Do you feel like this could help you out?
I think so.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, it's what I got to do is just kind of compare it to. There's a couple of other offerings that I'm looking at, and they're all very different approaches. And trying to look at, to boil it all down, it's the value. Trying to figure out how to say this. What is the most economical way to get the good conversations fast? It's and if it costs more to have more good conversations, fine. If it's so, it's just kind of a measure of where do I think it makes sense to invest the money based on kind of the time, effort, and outcome. That
Makes sense to definitely.
a lot of these things I hear a lot about it, and I really have to kind of compare apples to apples, and or even if it's apples to oranges, it's like, okay, well, what is the orange and what is the apple, and which one do I want to eat? So just kind of try to figure that out. So I just need a little bit of time, because I also get, you have a conversation like this, it's like, oh yeah, this is great, and then you have a different conversation, and it's like, well, this is interesting, it's different. How do I compare those two things? Where I don't remember exactly what you told me, so I could go back and look at it. So I need really just take a little bit of time to figure it out.
So it sounds like you're looking at a few different options in a few different ways. What have you looked at so far?
A platform very similar to what you guys are doing with the outbound stuff. I think it's probably not. It's more manual for me. That also makes it a lot cheaper. but I've got to kind of go about, go through the process of coming up with what are those offers, those kinds of things. What are the templates I want to build? How does that stuff work? And then I can manage it a little bit more on my own, with their stuff in the background. But again, great, it's cheaper, but how much time does it take me? What is that? What does that look like? And I'm always trying to look at value rather than cost,
Mhm.
because it makes sense to spend double and get triple back. Well, let's do that. So kind of I did to compare the things together.
Makes sense. Do you feel like this could like actually make you money? I mean, if we just did the math at 1,000, 3% reply conservatively.
I need to be able to look at them side by side.
Yeah.
I can't do that right this minute. So
Yeah.
I can do that over the weekends. First thing Monday. But I just need to be able to kind of look at everything and make sure I make the right decisions going forward. Unfortunately I've made some quick decisions in the past that just didn't pan out. And it's like, man, I really should put some more thought into that before I pulled the trigger, and probably could have figured this out.
Makes sense to process it. Not a lot of money and not something that you should take lightly for sure. Sweet. So you think Monday we could connect? You can send me an email if you have any other questions. You could shoot me over email as well.
Okay, sounds good.
Cool. Tim, thanks for your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Ciao. All right. So that's the call. That's how it went. I think it went pretty good. I think he is sold. I feel like the value prop of what we're offering solves this problem. I asked all the questions I feel like I needed to ask. Seems like there's a big gap there, a big problem that we can then solve. But all in all, I feel like this went pretty good. Feel pretty promising. Set the call up for the next meeting, which will be on Monday. Should hear back again. Could have been a little bit more aggressive on the objections. The objections are always just a smokescreen for something deeper. So yeah, didn't want to push too hard on him, but feel good about having a call in just a couple of days. So not bad. All right, a couple quick updates before we get into it. One, switch sets. Looks cool this way. So had 2 sales calls. The guy who you probably just saw on the sales call, man, he was super close. He was ready to go. And I even gave him a crazy guarantee, but I followed up via email, sent him a couple of emails, sent him a crazy guarantee in the emails, and he said he's not interested. So can't expect 100% batting average, which is totally cool. But good news is 2 things. One, made some updates to the campaigns. So in the campaigns, basically it's similar call to action from the perspective of we are giving a list of 100 qualified leads. We're still using the ideas angle, essentially giving them ideas, as well as also just like offering free leads, essentially. But here's the deal. Here's what I'm switching up. Instead of sending them the list of leads and then following up with them and like offering a call from that, I'm trying to get them on a call so that I can build their ideal client profile rather than just sending them the list and then like hoping that, they respond to it. So that's the new flow to try to get more bookings. And so far, so good. We have a lot of people raising their hands, 3.2% reply rate, 2.8% reply rate on the last couple that we've been ripping. So feeling really confident on these, feeling really good on these ones. And we have a couple of calls. So we have 2 calls today that I'm going to take you on. And I'm hoping that we can convert one of these people. Yeah, the tonality of the conversation is, can I build an ideal client profile list for you, that list of 100 leads for you? But I need to steer this in a way that will get them asking about, oh, what is it that you do? And then I can come in there, explain what we do, and hopefully close a deal for you guys. But things are looking really good. Like a lot of replies, if we go to the inbox, I mean, we have the amount of positive replies is pretty awesome. We're getting multiple per day. Feeling pretty confident about where we're headed, and my head's still in the game, and it's just a matter of time at the end of the day. So let's get into it. I'm doing 3 things. I am checking out the client's website, just kind of seeing what they do, how we could potentially help. Again, this is teed up as we're going to build a list of leads for them, but I want to be prepared so I can jam through that quickly. And then on the second side of things, what I am also doing is I'm putting their website in the ChatGPT agent mode just to do a little bit of research, give me some context before I jump into the meeting. So basically just drop the website of the companies that I'm meeting with and then having the agent mode do some work for me so that I can understand their current business. So I think it's going to be really helpful, the agent mode. And then the last thing that I'm going to do is just go through the people that I'm meeting with and view their LinkedIn profiles so I can get some context from a LinkedIn perspective and potentially find something that we have in common that I can relate to when we do jump on a call, because I don't have a website, I don't have any proof. So I got to build rapport quickly. And on the call is where I'm going to build rapport, add value to them, and then hopefully, yeah, get through the list building side of things and then call it good. So I'm going to come prepared and then jam through that as quickly as possible so we can transition to their pain points and then some ideas and hopefully a pitch. And then hopefully we can get them closed up. So that's the game plan. I'll see you while we're talking to them, and I'll show you maybe an overview of what I'm looking at. Okay, here we go. Nice. Company and founder. Cool. So this is pretty solid. Nice. Gave me like their ideal client. Recent hiring announcements, which would be easy to do off of. I like it. Collier. Executive search. So they're more executive search firm. The other one was more AI. So these are recruiting firms that I'm talking to. I like it. So I'm going to dig through some of this just in preparation for the call because they are back to back, but this will be a good time. Peter.
Good morning.
How are we, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. It's morning at least here in Colorado. Where are you at?
It's morning here in San Diego.
You're just showing off now.
I know.
Hey, we're about the same longitude and latitude. You just have more ocean.
More ocean and probably about the same sun. No, probably less sun.
We actually get 300 days of sun a year.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah, thanks for responding. I'm excited to hopefully add some value to you on this call. I think first things first, what would be good is I want to live up to what I emailed you and build a really solid list for you guys with high expectations. So that's the goal. And then from there, I could share a little bit about what we do and if it makes sense and can have that conversation too. But big thing that I want to do is I just want to follow through on what I said. So I do like, maybe you could give me just a quick, like 30 to 60-second overview of your business, what piqued your interest about getting this list of leads, and then I can share my screen. I did start on it. So I have feel like a pretty solid list, but just need to clean things up and I want to make sure that it's good for you.
Yeah. So Austin, I've been recruiting for a very long time, and I've worked with, the reason I set up my own shop was it's all about the personal content.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with all the big guys, the Fortune 100s.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's just fill the box.
Yeah.
Wow. We have no flexibility. This is our system. This is when we onboard people. We don't care. We're not going to talk about anything, just the level. And so they love to bring me on board because I can produce. But at the end of the day, I get the conversation with Austin and I find out, oh, here's who he is. Here's who his heart is. Here's what's going on in his life. If we can do this, it's going to differentiate us from the other Fortune 500.
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, most don't. So I said, I can provide more value to Austin's company if I just let Austin do what he does well. Maybe that's provide management to his team. Maybe that's sell to his investors.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's software that he does. So Austin, you go do that, but tell me a little bit more why you're special.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned the traits, the culture, the company, the differentiators, and then I go out like a bird dog and I go out and find the purple squirrel.
Cool.
So primarily the difference in how I do things, which is much different. I've focused on AI since it was a thing.
Cool.
Since chat came out, but before then, because I understand that automation and technology can serve us and does a phenomenal job. But most people don't know how to do it. They're just throwing out bots. And oh my gosh, I had such a fun conversation with a bot yesterday. They called me up and said, "We need you."
Yeah.
And got interviewed by a bot.
Wow.
And posed some questions to it. I am not sure about that. I will get back to it.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, of course.
So my value is to the small and medium-sized businesses.
Yeah.
They perform probably well for 2 to 5 years or more. They're 2 to 200 people.
Cool.
They're 2 million to 200 million. So they prove they can stay and that they would be able to afford my service. Now, am I the most expensive? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm also not a $5,000 to $10,000 Indian, whatever.
Sure.
You're going to call up.
Sure.
And where So my value, and it's been almost industry agnostic because whether it's DOD, whether it's oil and gas, whether it's transportation, in those industries, we're looking for skill set and culture match.
Cool.
So that's my value is to the small to medium sized businesses that don't have a recruiting department. Somebody got designated as HR,
Yep.
and let me go hunt and find the people
Yep.
and save you time and money. At the end of the day, that's
Totally. 100%. Yeah. Love it. Super helpful. Yeah. And then as far as like client acquisition or getting in front of these businesses, like what's the current game plan, and is there any like struggle there, or is that something that you're looking to do, is get more clients that you can recruit for?
Yeah, it's trying to I'm not going to say go to the Ouija board because I'm beyond that. It's post and pray. Also, it's a consistency matter. I mean, yes, and it may not be obvious, but the majority of work I get are from people who know me, and trust me. And so the other part is just cutting through the noise. Where LinkedIn used to be, a business card holder, and I could pick up the phone or somebody would get back to me. It's now just a barrage of noise. I would get 10 to 25 lead gen emails a day.
Yeah. Me too.
My website is inundated. And then you sit down and talk to them, and they said, well, we've been in business for about a month.
Yeah. Totally.
The cold emails, and we've got a copywriter, and it's amazing. And so if I didn't have to even push click, delete, go away, thanks, it's just getting more in the books. Yeah. I don't need 1,000 clients.
Right.
I need 25, 50, 100 because everybody hires every day or every year.
Yep.
You get a good architect, one good software developer, and we're good. Probably a year. And then we rotate. Who's next? Who else needs the help? So it's not necessarily a speed issue. It's just having a conversation. If I had a call a day, my guess would be I would close 2 out of the 5.
Yeah.
Good. Because the only reason I want them is when you go to my LinkedIn, when you go to my website, there's not I don't believe, and you might audience, I don't believe there's a great deal of ambiguity in what I do.
Yeah, it seems clear.
This is what I do. Do you want help?
Yeah. Cool.
And so the biggest challenge I have is a consistent way to get meetings on the board.
Yeah. So what is the value of like one client to you? Like if you could land one client, is that like a $20,000 value?
Yeah, anywhere between, I wouldn't say minimum 20.
Yeah, cool. Because they stay with you for a while because you do good work. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, let me follow through on what I emailed you, and then I'll maybe just kind of give a quick overview of what we do, and then if it makes sense, we can talk about it. If not, then not the end of the world. So yeah, basically what we do is we specialize in outbound marketing, kind of like how you received our message. That's kind of the method that we go about it. We try to lead with value because like what you said, there's a ton of different noise throughout like just cold outbound where it's just like, hey, let's book a call. But the thing with outbound is people don't know you, like you, trust you because to you, you're just somebody in their inbox. So our theory is, yeah, like what you mentioned, less is more. And that's awesome that you have lists as well because with the lists, you can there's so much data, as you know, being in the tech space, there's data enrichment tools, Clay, instantly where we can enrich this data, get buying signals, and then actually message people with relevance so that when they receive the email, it's not like a cold email or a cold message. And then when we actually message them from like a call to action perspective, it's not like we're trying to get them on a call right away. We're trying to figure out, okay, what is the piece of value that we can provide to them? So from like a perspective of, let's just call it like list building. So what I did is we have a ton of different ways to build lists. One of our favorite ways is using Instantly. And the thing that I like about Instantly is basically and I did this before we jumped on just so that I was prepared a little bit, but Hiring managers, HR directors, human resources. Like I basically pulled a list of all the job titles in the United States of software and aerospace companies, 0 to 250 employees, and then the job listings. So I'm basically pulling people with these active job listings. Okay. So people who are actively hiring, development, data scientist, data engineer, full stack developer, programmer, AI engineer, ML engineer, blah, blah, blah. So that pulled, and this is really, really specific because I wanted to get you a list that was really, really specific, not like broad, so it wasn't useful. Yeah, this pulled a list of 265. So what we can do is we can actually enrich this data. So if I click on find emails, then I can do a fully enriched profile. And then by doing that, I'll just kind of show you what it does. Is basically what it will do is it'll find their LinkedIn, it'll find their email, it'll find their, it'll validate the work email so we know that the email that we're sending is actually legit. And then it'll find like their contact summary, their contact headline, their department, industry, company description, company size. And then what I can do is I can add another element to it where I can basically add enrichment, and then I can enrich job listings. And then what it will do is it'll give me all of the jobs that they're hiring for. So then what's cool with this is we can actually write emails that are relevant to each person. So we're not sending the same email to everybody. We are basically developing a prompt using AI based off of that column. So let me just give you an example. I help people, this will be like a really bad example. And then I could say using the, and then I can click on this lightning bolt, and then I can basically find their job listings, mention a job posting, And then I can click on generate output. And then what this will do is it'll generate basically a personalized relevant email to them. And then of course we would craft like everything to it, but that's like the list in like our process. And this is a kind of a list that I'll send over to you as well, just so you can have it and just like keep it. Sounds like you have a list. But the cool thing is, Peter, you already have a list. So what we'd also be able to do is upload that list, enrich the data, put it through tools like Clay, and then basically send based off of sending signals, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like the other tricky thing, like what you mentioned, is like setting appointments. So what we would do is we have like I'll just draw this out because this is easier. So basically, like what we would do first is like strategy and like onboarding. And this is the main thing that we would work with you on, is coming up with an offer. Like, who is our ideal customer and what is the offer for that person? Is it we have some people that we can send to them, we have this report that we can send to them, something really light just to start a conversation, because we don't necessarily need to like we want to basically just start a conversation and add value. Like, we're trying to create some reciprocity there. And then based off of the strategy, then it's like list building. So from like your perspective, like why wouldn't we build a list of just like Colorado companies? Yeah. Just to like start Colorado companies, just to start, because they're in your backyard, California. And then maybe like it's job title based, job listing based. So we would come up with multiple different lists of leads that we can then segment our strategy towards. So each person is getting a relevant offer and relevant copy, essentially. Okay. And then from there, we'll write the copy plus follow-ups. So we'll do all that for you. That's actually relevant. So we'll use like Clay, we'll use instantly to find buying signals. And then all of the responses will go to what's called a Unibox, and we'll actually manage the Unibox. So we use Instantly. Basically, we have a bunch of email accounts inside of Instantly, so they're all safe. So we would buy emails like go higher expectations, work with higher expectations, hire with higher expectations, et cetera, so that when we send emails, they actually land in the inbox and it's in fact safe. So we would make sure that it actually lands in the inbox. And then what we would do is our team would manage the Unibox for you. So any reply that we would get, we would actually respond. So there's two options. There's actually a reply agent in here. So if they're like, yeah, send me more information, then we can basically propose jumping on a call to get them more information that they need, or just send them information and then they can be more of like a warm lead that we can follow up on LinkedIn with, et cetera, et cetera. And then all of the opportunities are really just managed within the CRM. So we can see all people who replied, meeting booked, meeting complete, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really easy for us to just stay organized with everything. And we have a team member on our team that basically just does that for you. And then what we'll do is we'll just book the meetings for you. So you just kind of like have appointments set. So we'll actually do the appointment setting as well, so that you just kind of show up to the meetings. Like we'll do the back and forth of sending the value, trying to get them on a call, et cetera, et cetera. And then from like a volume perspective, because you're probably like, will this actually work? Typically, like what we see is, I'll just use an example of 10,000 emails. We typically see like a 3 to 5% reply rate on something like this, kind of conservatively depending on the messaging. So from that, we would be getting 3 to 5 reply. Let's just do 4,000 to be safe. 4,000 replies. Let's just say 50% of them are, or let's just say 10% of them are positive. So that'd be 400 positive replies. It's conservative. Then from there, we should be able to book another 10. It depends on the offer. Like there's a lot of variables here, but there's no reason that we shouldn't be able to book anywhere from 10 to 30% booking rate, depending on our offer, depending on what we're going for. So that could be anywhere from like, 40 plus meetings potentially. And this is like very like loose numbers, but this is what we like to aim for from like a conservative approach from like a booking perspective. So yeah, that's kind of how we help people.
Is it monthly, bi-monthly?
This could be like over the course of 4 months, over 3 months. It really depends on like the list. Like if we have 10,000 emails, but they're all like junk and we're just sending to send, I wouldn't want to do that. So maybe if we like did 1,000 emails a month, then it's more like 4-ish meetings, but maybe the reply rate's higher and the positive reply rate's higher because our messaging is so much better. It's way more relevant to the person. So that's what we like to aim for. Yeah, we see it work really well in the recruiting space, and yeah, jumping on meetings and just getting calls booked. And it might not be like a close meeting all of the time, and it might just be like add value to them type of meeting, and then just plant the seed and build a relationship. So,
But I mean, even if we use any of those numbers, if I had 4 meetings,
yeah, exactly.
because I close one,
I would feel very confident in your ability to make money back pretty quickly. So,
talk to me about timing.
yeah, I mean, the strategy onboarding, this is usually, it's pretty quick. Like this can be 1 to 2 weeks, depending on like your scheduling and then like your approvals and whatnot. Then the copy and follow up, that's after like we've enriched all the data. And then this is kind of where we launch. So this should be like 2.5 weeks in. Like my goal is to launch by month 1 or within 3 weeks, really. And then we should be launched by week 3, week to week 4. And then the Unibox management and appointment setting. And then there's also like testing and like figuring out like what's actually working well, what's not working well. Because if you're not getting a lot of positive responses, because we can see inside of our campaign. So if I go to mine, like an example here, I can go through all of my campaigns and I can see what's getting responded to, what's not getting responded to, like what my reply rate is on each campaign. And I can see, okay, why is this 3.3? Why is this 2.9? Okay, from this, how many opportunities said yes? Okay, I had 42 replies, 7 positive replies. Like that's a really good ratio. 53, 11. So that's whatever percentage that is. 20% people saying yes, they want more information. So yeah, then we can just like see all the analytics of what's working, what's not working, and make adjustments based off of that. So we would have like a ton of different campaigns running based off of your needs, essentially.
Okay. Is this running now? You said you're using Clay and Instantly.
Yeah.
But this database right here, is that yours? Or you're just taking tools.
Yep.
Dumping your in. Is that right?
Yep, exactly. So this is Instantly. And then we'll use Clay to integrate with Instantly as part of enrichment, depending on the angle that we want to go after.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I feel like because you don't need a ton of meetings and you want more relevancy, like this actually could be pretty solid for you. Yeah. And then our setters could actually log into your LinkedIn too. Like people who do positive reply, we could also go to LinkedIn as well so that we can also follow up on LinkedIn or connect with them on LinkedIn as part of the follow-up process.
Well, Austin, it sounds neat. I love, that
Yeah.
you're going to, and it's not just, leave it to AI to figure out everything and just spray everyone with the same message.
Totally.
Eric, and that's just not what I do.
Yeah, a little bit more less is more, essentially. Is this of any interest to you at all?
It is. It's always Austin. It's always cost.
Yeah.
Right? How much it costs, and when would I see a meeting?
Yeah.
So all I look at is that's wonderful. I love everything you said. It all makes sense. I'm sure it's all working because we're talking.
Yep.
It's just, I would want to know, some of those timetables. And I realize it's not anything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
based on what you showed me, I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I mean, if we can launch in 3 weeks, yeah, we'd be able, depending on how many, like we'd first need to figure out what our total addressable market is and all that sort of stuff. But I mean, within the first week, we should be seeing positive replies and then getting the positive replies to book meetings. Again, dependent on like our strategy, our copy, our offer, and all that sort of stuff. I would say I launched a campaign on Monday and I've booked 3 meetings already. So it can be quick, or it just depends on like the offer and whatnot. So that's like the timing and expectations perspective. And then from like an investment perspective, for 4 months, it's just $4,000, and we guarantee that you'll double investment, or we'll work for free until we do. So basically, what we want to do is like, and because this is done for you, it's not like there's any catches here. So basically, our goal is that you double your investment. So for you, it'd be like you at least close 1 deal in the 4 months of working together. And then if you don't, then we just keep sending emails until we actually set the appointment that closes it. And I can't control like your salesmanship, but if you said that you close, I don't know, 30%, then
If I can't close 30 to 50, then
yeah.
I got retired, got to go away.
So I mean, to me, this would be super easy. All we need to get you is 4 meetings or 5 meetings. And if that's the goal, then we can just be really, really particular with like the data enrichment and all that sort of stuff. So,
all right, I love it. All right, my friend, will you send me a follow up?
Yeah, I'm going to send you the list of leads. I'll send you this recording. And then, yeah, like what do we think about this? Like, how does this work with like your timing and whatnot?
Well, so what I want to do is timing might be really good. I've got to, as I like to say, shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of things working right now. So they're in that, when you look at that diagram, they're somewhere between the 2 to 3 week time. So really early to, pull the plug because I don't have enough information yet.
Yeah.
But I should, I'm going to look at some data tomorrow.
Cool.
And next day, and then say, not working. Numbers aren't working.
Yeah.
No, positive responses. And it's not like I'm saying, hey, come buy a car from me today. It's like,
totally.
I see you got a bunch of, you need help.
Yep.
How long do you want to keep doing this?
Yep.
It's that sort of approach, not by, book a meeting and let's go, but it's more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this would be like really solid for you, and we do good by you and make sure that you're set up for success. So I see that this would work super, super well.
Work with other solopreneurs or staffing agencies or what?
Tons of solopreneurs, because they don't have a team. They're in the same thing, right? They're working in the business and they don't have time to do all this sort of stuff. So they just kind of plug us in, and then, yeah, we assist them with everything. And I'm a partner with Instantly, like know the tool really, really well. If you go on what the software's YouTube channel, you see so much about me. So yeah, I think it'd do really well. And I mean, with the guarantee, like we stand by that. So our goal is that you leave this and you actually make money and you're hype on all that sort of stuff. So yeah. So what would be the next step here?
Touch base. Let's touch base.
I'll just use your Calendly if that's okay, and just get something on the calendar, and then that can serve as a check-in call, or it can just serve as an email reminder. Sounds
appreciate it.
Yeah.
What you're doing, and it differentiates yourself. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think this would do super, super well for you, and we do well for you, and that you're a brother in Christ, even better, my friend.
Amen. I love that.
Yeah, 100%. It's who I like to do business with.
Yeah.
All right, friend. I'll check in. I'll just book something on your Calendly, and then that'll serve as a check-in or an email follow-up. Okay. See you, Peter. Yep. All right, here we are in meeting number 2, but it is 10:36, and it doesn't look like anyone's showing up, which is weird because they accepted the invite. So maybe they got spooked. This is my second email to them with the Zoom link. So let's just see if we can get these bad boys back on here. No email from them, no response. Kind of a bummer because I had everything prepared. So this one may not be a no-show or may be a no-show. So shoot, what a waste of time. Let's give a quick recap of what went down just now. So I think I transitioned it pretty well. Basically went through a little bit of his problems. It was pretty much a sales call, so I felt like it was going to be a little bit weird, offering to give him this list and then transitioning it to a sales call, but it actually worked really, really well, surprisingly. And as you can see, he was super, super receptive to what I went over like the Miro board, went over, the whole process of how we get them from where to where they want to go, and then offered a fire guarantee. I should have closed them on the call, but my rookie mistake was the person that booked a call after. He's like, oh, we can only do 10:30. So I was like, okay, I can do this in 30 minutes. Let's just call it good. So I only had 30 minutes, but he was close. So if I had more time, I would have stayed on him longer and handled better objections. But because the meetings were back to back, that's a freaking rookie mistake. But I feel pretty good, especially with like the guarantee and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow through on the email, which is getting them this list of leads. So let me just actually enrich this data, add enrichment. Let's do job listings, continue. And then I'll send this over to him. And then what I'm also going to do is I'm just going to shoot him a quick email. I'm just going to say something like, hey, Peter, super good to connect today. So I'm going to send him a couple of follow-ups. I'll send him a screenshot of this. Send the Fathom recording as well. For you. I'll book on your calendar. I might put a little bit of urgency here. Perfect. Okay, so just sent him a follow-up email, and then what I'm also going to do is get on his calendar here for a time that works for all of us. So as soon as possible, just schedule the meeting. Cool, we're dialed. Okay, so that's what happens next. I feel really good about this one. Feel really good about the offer. Everything that I offered, it's pretty affordable, crazy guarantee. He seems hype. He needs it. Let's go. Or now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you a quick little update on how things are doing. In the last 7 days, we've been sending around 1,000 emails a day. Results have been pretty good. 26% reply rate in the last 7 days for the staffing angle, a 3.4% reply rate, which is pretty freaking banger. Have a follow-up call today, have a call booked for tomorrow. Let's check out that conversation. Basically, let's go here with Mike. That meeting has been booked. So he was interested after a follow-up. His information got forwarded somewhere. So that's a positive sign. You never know where your emails are going to end up. But with 1,000 sends a day, like this is pretty positive. This is pretty solid. I'm feeling pretty good on where we're headed. Where analytics, 26% reply rate with 11 opportunities out of 32 people replying. Pretty solid. But at the end of the day, what matters most is us closing a deal. So hopefully today with the follow-up call, we can get them one step closer to the line. If not, have some teed up for later this week, or have one teed up for tomorrow. A lot of asks out there from all of the positive replies. So now it's time to just seal the deal, guys. I think one of the biggest game changers just for this campaign why we're seeing such a high reply rate and getting more meetings with just the tweaks is, yeah, instead of asking for the call right away or just sending them the list of leads, I'm offering to jump on a call so that I can build their lead list as best as possible. So one, the value is extremely great. And then two, instead of, just sending them a lead list, cross my fingers, I'm actually offering to jump on a call so that I can actually create the best lead list for them. So that's the sequence that's working pretty freaking well. So moral of what I'm learning is make a banger offer, but create the friction to get the banger offer. Yeah, guys. All right, let's see how this follow-up call goes. This follow-up call is a no-go, no-show. This has happened a couple of times, so that leads me to believe that there's something wrong with what's happening. Before I jump on a call with them, I need to double confirm the appointment. So for the appointments that I have booked, I'm going to send a confirmation email to confirm that they're going to actually show up, so that I can actually make sure that they do show up. I'm going to follow up via email. I'll probably schedule another time because he gave me his Calendly link, so I'll schedule another time for tomorrow to jump on a call with him. I sent him a text message, so hopefully he'll text me back, and I'm probably going to give him a call as well.
Hello there, this is Peter. I'm sorry I can't take your call.
Ignored. So it's all right, guys. It's all right. I'm going to stay at it. I'm going to rebook. I'm going to believe for this one. So, but that's on me. I need to do better at making sure people show up. So, lesson learned. We are prepping for the follow-up call for the call that got missed yesterday. So basically what he said on an email was pretty much, hey, so sorry, things got away from me, got really busy and couldn't meet. So I said, fine, okay. And then I basically just used his Calendly and scheduled a call for today. So I'm getting ready for that call. Okay, what do I have prepared in front of me? Well, I, most importantly, just want to see if he's going to move forward. Feel good, super nice guy, who's super bought in, gave him a crazy guarantee. But I need to be ready to act and lock him in. So, if there is an objection, I'm going to put some urgency on it that, hey, we only have a couple spots and we need to lock in your spot. In that case, we need to take a deposit. So I need to have a deposit secure because I don't have a Stripe anything set up. I do have a PayPal. So what's cool inside of PayPal is you can create payment links. So I'm just going to create a payment link depending on what I decide to do. But I want to have this ready so I'm not scrambling and fumble over my words and potentially lose the deal. I sent him over the follow-up email. He should be ready to go. All right, let's see how it goes. Peter, good seeing you, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate the time.
How are we doing?
We're doing well. We're anxious to try something new.
It's been a little bit since we talked last week, but curious to hear your thoughts on everything and how you feel about the whole system that I sent over to you, the email, price point, everything.
Let's say I'm intrigued. I'm ready to do something right now.
Okay.
I think what you've explained to me certainly seems like it should work.
Okay. Love it.
And I'm ready to, move forward. Let's do something.
Got it. So no reason to not move forward is what you're saying.
No, I have to try something new, and you gave me some logical information that sounds like it should work, and I'm ready to go.
Cool. Love it. So basically what we do, next step of the process here is what we'll do is I'll send you over a link to secure your spot with a deposit. It'll be a $200 deposit. And then after that is secured, then basically what we'll do is we'll jump on an onboarding call where we can do a strategy session, understand your brand, start building that list like what we talked about, and then be able to kind of just start building from there. And we can get that scheduled today. So 1 second, give me just a second while we're on the call, and I'll just shoot you over a link in the chat here. We only need one client, Peter, so I feel pretty good about this for it to pay for itself and some more.
Amen. That's right.
Okay, so $200. All right, so in the chat, I just dropped a payment link. Were you able to check that out?
All right, there it is. Hold on.
Just let me know when it comes through, and then I'll secure everything, and then we'll get a contract and final payment link sent over to you with the full amount, and then we'll be ready to rock. Let me just see on my end.
Well, it said thank you for your purchase.
Okay, let's go ahead and check it on my end, make sure it went through. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'll prepare the contract. I will get the I'll get the contract sent over as well as the payment full. And then once that's filled out or once the contract is signed, then we'll be able to schedule our onboarding call and then get the show on the road. And we can start as soon as, Friday, if you're down, if you can get everything taken care of before then.
Okay. I will do everything I can.
Cool. How's that sound? How are we feeling?
No, we have a solution that may work.
Love it. Okay, man. I will get everything prepared and then we'll get the show on the road.
All right, Austin. Thank you. I appreciate your follow up, and I'm looking forward to results.
All right, let's go. Me too. And there we have it. So, deposit paid, client sold. Let's freaking go. So let's look over the stats and let me just give you a quick little recap of what I've learned, what I would have done differently, and things that you can take away from this. So let's just kind of look overview. So campaigns were ripping, guys. So in the last few weeks alone, we had a lot of positive replies. So 71 plus 33 plus 55. What is that? 71 plus 33 plus 55. 159 replies. Okay. Some out of office, some taking me off your list, etc., etc. So we had about 45 positive replies. So about 25 to 30% would be a positive reply. And then from that, we were able to book 6 calls. Okay. And from the 6 calls, we won 1 of the calls. Okay. A couple of them didn't show up. Totally fine. Let's back up. What could I have done differently? Well, we had a lot of positive replies, and I was only able to book a very small percentage of the positive replies to an actual meeting. Why? My follow-up game probably wasn't that strong. So I'd have been a lot more diligent. I should have been a lot more diligent on the follow-up of people that raised their hand and that were interested. Should have followed up more times, more ways, and been more on top of it. So that's on me. The other thing that I learned was I need to have better pre-call reminders. I didn't use any Calendly or any of that. I just sent a manual invite. I should have at the least sent multiple reminders that were coming up because I had a couple of no-shows. Okay, bummer. It's all good though. And then from a campaign perspective, what I should have done is I should have 100% led with wanting to send the value, which I did in the first set of emails of, hey, I'm going to send you 100 leads, but not send the leads. And instead of sending leads, offer to jump on a call so that we can build the list perfectly. Okay, cool. Didn't do that. Should have done that before. So you guys just learn from my mistakes. And I think if you literally just duplicated what I did for your business, using similar copy, using a similar call to action, use a similar flow, and really learning from the principles that I made mistakes on, you should have no reason to be able to do this. From a spend perspective, let's look at that. So I spent a total of, let's see. From a spend perspective, I'm spending around $397 a month in spend. And from this month, I was able to generate $4,000 in revenue with a $397 a month spend, which is a 10 times return on my investment into Instantly, which is a complete no-brainer from a monthly perspective. I have momentum. I know how to do this. I clearly did it. All we need to do is continue to rinse and repeat. And again, if I followed my own advice, I would have followed up a lot more. I think I could close some more deals as well. So that's the gist of it, but pretty solid return in my opinion. And it really didn't take that long from that perspective. From an emailing perspective, it took a total of a little less than 2 months to finally get a deal, which I feel pretty happy about. Less than 2 months to get a deal. Spent around $600 to make $4,000. Not bad at all with just less than 2 months of emailing. Again, if I were to do it again, I would continue with my current strategy because that is absolutely ripping with a 3.9% reply rate. And then just in the last 7 days alone, 29% reply rate. This is winning. I should honestly just keep this on and just start a freaking agency, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to leave it at that. I wanted to show you the raw reality of starting your own business using systems and tools to handle all of your outreach, do all of your emails, because in all honesty, that's the fastest and easiest way to do it. But lead generation is a much more complex topic than I could even explain here. So click on the video on the screen where I actually dive into one of the most successful lead generation strategies from one of the most successful entrepreneurs of our time, Alex Hormozy, and basically go over what he's doing this year. If you don't know who he is, he famously exited his gym licensing business for $46.2 million and is now scaling a portfolio of businesses at acquisition.com that is worth over $200 million. And he's applying all the lead generation tactics that he learned from his businesses into those. So if you're serious about scaling and want to learn from the best, I'll see you on that video.